Hey everyone, Johnny B here with Johnny B Codes, back for our 30 days of API challenge. This is day 9. In the last lesson, we learned a little bit about the Clarifai API and using post requests to include data with a request. We saw the response that you get back from our general model endpoint, like we see here with our concepts. So what are we going to do with this data? I thought it would be fun to make a little bar graph showing the certainty of 3 of the concepts. We're not going to plot them all, but I wanted to show a few of those. So we're going to open up our Xcode project for our cat facts. And at the end of the video, this is what we want to end up with. We're actually not going to be working with the request in this video. This video is just going to be setting up the UI, setting up these little bar graphs down here. So each time we click on get a cat fact, the end result, what it's going to do is send that image URL, the same one that we're showing here, to our Clarifai endpoint, getting back those concepts, and then we're going to pick 3 of them kind of randomly and then plot that data here inside of these bar graphs. So it's going to show the probability with the bar graphs, and then it doesn't show it here, but it's going to have a label showing what the concept name is as well as the probability. So this is going to be hopefully pretty fun. All right, so first thing we need to do is open up our storyboard, and we're going to add 3 views. Okay, so again, just checking out our end product that we want. Looks like we have 3 views. I'm gonna put them in a stack view, give them some background colors. So yeah, just gonna open up our library here, say UI view. I'm gonna drag that on right here, and just gonna shrink you down, open up my right hand tab here, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a corner radius right here, layer dot corner radius, and that is a number, and we will go with a value of 5. Then I'm going to give it a background color, and you can pick whatever colors that you want. I'm going to pick this green here for our first one, and then I'm going to move it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and give it a height constraint of 30, and then I'm going to embed this in a stack view right here. And then once you do that, you can just grab this guy and copy it and paste and paste. There we go. And then I'm going to select our stack view here, and we're going to go ahead and change its distribution to equal spacing, change the alignment to leading, and give it spacing of about 4. Then once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and try and constrain this guy here. Had a little bit of trouble getting this just right earlier. But what we want to do is constrain it inside of the UI image view. And so the image view is 20 from the leading and trailing edges. So I'm going to, this is a different way of being able to set constraints, is you can control and drag over here in the document hierarchy. You can control drag from the stack view to the parent view, and we can say leading space to safe area. And so that's going to be 20 plus 12. So we want that to be 32. So I'm going to set that right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the trailing. So I'm going to control and drag to the view and say trailing space to safe area is, we're going to set that to 32. There we go. And then we have some red because we need to fully constrain this. So for that, I'm going to control and drag, and this time to the cat image view. And we are going to say bottom. And then I'm going to do command option equal to bring that down. And then let's see if we can bump this bottom alignment up a little bit. I think I might need to say -12. There we go. And that looks pretty good. And then we're going to also need some text labels inside of our views right here. So I'm going to open back up our library and say label. And we're going to drag one into the top one, into the middle one, and the third one. Very good. Then I'm going to go ahead and select all three of those at once. And we're going to change the font color to white. And then we're going to, for now, these aren't going to have any text in them. There we go. Oh, and then we also want to center those horizontally and vertically in the parent view. So with all three of those selected, I'm going to select horizontally and vertically in container, add those constraints. Very good. All right, so now we're going to need some outlets for these views. So I'm going to come back here to our view controller, and right here with our outlets, I'm going to say IB outlet, and we're going to need outlets for the labels. So let's do that first. I'm going to say bar1 label is of type UI label. And then we have bar2 label is of type UI label. And then we have bar3 label is of type UI label. And then there's a couple of ways of making this animation. What we're going to do is a simple way, which is just to animate the width constraint of each of these bars. So we need some outlets for the actual NS layout constraint. So I'm going to say IB outlet. I'm going to say bar1 width of type NS layout constraint, and then bar2 width of type NS layout constraint, and then bar3 width of type NS layout constraint. Very good. Save that, and let's jump back into our storyboard so we can hook all of those up. And might find it easy if you expand the constraints right here for each of the views. And then right-clicking on our view controller here, we can see all of our new outlets, and we can hook those up. So I'm going to say bar1 label is going to be this guy right here. And just for clarity, I'm going to go ahead and rename these. I'm going to say bar1. This is going to be bar2. And this is bar3. There we go. And then back to connecting. So we got bar1 label, bar1 width. And so for this, you want to grab the width constraint, which we have not set. So hold on there. Let's go ahead and grab these three bars, and we are going to set a width constraint of let's do 30 for starters. All right, so now we have our width constraints that we can hook up. So right-clicking again, bar1 width is our width constraint. And then we got our bar3 label here, bar3 label, and then bar3 width. Just dragging these to their corresponding outlets. Then bar2 label, and bar2 width. There we go. All right, so now we got those all hooked up. I'm going to change the colors of these other ones so that they're all different colors. This is going to be a darker purple. And then for our last one here, and you can pick whatever colors you want, but I think that looks pretty good. So I think we're ready to create the function to actually animate these. So let's go back to our view controller. And we're going to create a new function called func plot bar graph data. And what we're going to do is we are going to create 3 random width constraints, just for starting out, just so we can get it working before we, in the next lesson, create the clarify request that gets our actual values that we're going to be displaying. We're just going to create some dummy variables here. So I'm going to say let random width 1 equal, and we need to end up with CG floats. So I'm going to say CG float dot random, and we're going to do a closed range, and we're going to say from about 50 to say 300. And so this is going to give us a bar that is between 50 and 300. And then I'm going to just copy and paste that for 2 and 3. Very good. All right, so now that we have those random values, what we can do is we can set a new width constraint on our views. So we can say bar1 width dot constant is equal to random width 1, and we can say bar2 width dot constant, just pull this down a little bit, is equal to random width 2, and bar3 width dot constant is equal to random width 3. All right, so now you may be asking, how do we animate that? And it's really easy. All we have to do is say UIView dot animate with duration, and our duration will do a ½ second, 0.5. And then all we have to do is say self.view.layout if needed. And layout if needed, if you take a look here, open up our right-hand panel, click on this question mark here, it says that this lays out the subviews immediately if layout updates are pending. And so what it's going to do is it's going to see that these have changed, and it's going to redo the layout, and we're going to see those animate. So we're going to call this plot bar graph data right here, plot bar graph data, save and run. And if everything goes according to plan, we should be able to see these animating. So I'm going to say get cat fact, and check it out. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, hope that was fun for you. In the next lesson, what we're going to do is create that clarify request that is going to return these concepts here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 of these randomly, and instead of these randomly generated values, what we're going to do is plot these values, and then those labels that we added, they're going to say the name. So for instance, cat, and then it'll say 99%. And so that'll be pretty cool. So hope you're excited for that, and I'll see you all in the next one.